Cisco has an ARP spoofing protection mechanism known as Dynamic ARP Inspection, or DAI. In a nutshell, a switch with DAI enabled on a port will consult the DHCP snooping binding table and ensure that any ARPs sent from an untrusted port have a valid entry for the IP and MAC combo on that port. As mentioned before, DAI can use the DHCP snooping binding table, so DHCP snooping should be enabled on the switch. Cisco switches will allow an administrator to enable DAI without DHCP snooping running, but it will discard all ARP frames on those ports, which will effectively make all connectivity fail on that port. Having said that, DAI can also use ARP ACLs in place of DHCP snooping binding. ARP ACLs are statically configured lists of IP to MAC addresses. Since these must be manually maintained, they are not recommended. With DAI correctly implemented, a host can't perform a man-in-the-middle attack by spoofing a gateway's ARPs. I've seen some DOS attacks where a malicious host will reply to every ARP request, which can wreak havoc on a LAN. Like DHCP snooping, DAI is configured globally on a VLAN. Trusted ports should also be specified. Generally, these will be anything other than user ports. Make note of the diagram here. VLAN 10 has already been configured and added to the correct ports. DHCP snooping was configured in the previous chapter and is still in place. I'll start by setting my trusted ports. Config T, interface, range, FA0/1, 2, and FA0/24, IP, ARP, inspection, trust. Again, these trusted ports don't participate in DAI. Now I'll enable it globally. IP, ARP, inspection, VLAN 10. It really configures quite quickly. Verification is done with Show IP ARP Inspection, which shows settings and counters. I can also view the DHCP snooping binding table with Show IP DHCP Snooping Binding, which will verify MAC and IP bindings. DAI also has rate limiting of ARPs enabled by default since too many ARP requests can overrun the switch CPU. DAI rate limiting also allows for a burst period to be defined if the administrator chooses. Each interface can adjust the rate limit individually with Config T, interface FA0/22, IP, ARP, inspection, limit, rate, 10. The Cisco recommended and default rate limit is 15. The configure rate limits can be viewed with Do Show IP ARP Inspection Interfaces. There are some additional options that ratchet up the security when using DAI: destination MAC, source MAC, and IP address validation. This will validate these fields within ARP messages. These can be enabled individually or as groups with the global IP ARP inspection validation destination source IP commands. DAI is another great tool in the fight against misuse on your networks.